Okay, so after Mie, we headed back to Osaka for a few more days before we left Japan. And when we got there, we were welcomed with a takoyaki party. And if you don't know what takoyaki is, it's these little octopus fritters, and they have like ginger and green onions in them, and it was really good. We got to make them ourselves, so that was pretty fun and a good experience to have in Japan.
The next day, we met up with Kaori and Fumika.
So we ended up at karaoke again.
Are just like a couple of tots.
And we had dinner and drinks and sang a bunch of songs. After that, we found ourselves in the Shinsekai area of Osaka.
We ended up going to an arcade. So at the arcade they have photo booths where you go and you can take pictures with your friends, and it's like Snapchat on steroids where you can add so many filters, you can draw and do whatever you want with them.
They kind of alter your face and can make you look cuter and give you bigger eyes and makeup. So we of course had to try that. So the next day we headed over to Expo City, and they have the Expo 70 Commemorative Park. So we're at Expo Commemorative Park, and they have a nice park and attractions, and we're going to check it out.
We're with Fumika, Kaori, and Yoko. Hey, we're going to have some fun.
Yes. So at Expo Park, they have different areas. We got to go to a few of them. One, they had like a mini lake with paddle boats.
They were way too small.
Yeah, our knees were like going beside our faces because we were cramped so far into those boats.
We headed over to the Japanese style garden.
So we're just checking out a Japanese garden that's here at the park, and it's a pretty nice place.
And that was actually really cool. It had lots of water features with waterfalls, different ponds and lakes, but then mixed in forest and actual garden with flowers and stuff. It was one of the most beautiful parks, I think, that we went to.
After the commemorative park, we headed over to Expo City. What they had was like a Gundam store, and they had some giant Gundams outside as well. Also, a really cool thing that we were really excited for was the only Pokemon gym.
There's Pokemon centers all over Japan, but this is the only Pokemon gym. And what it is, it's like a storefront, is like almost like any other Pokemon center with a couple exclusive things like the Pikachu ref Expo City guy. But then you could go, and they have a whole arcade area where it's just all Pokemon games and like cinema theater.
So after the Pokemon gym, we decided to hang out at the mall. And in Japanese malls, there's a lot of stores with English names, but they don't really work in English.
Yeah, I think our favorite was a children's clothing store called Starvations. We spent probably an hour just walking around looking to see what the names of places were.
After Expo City, we said goodbye to Kaori, and we headed back home before getting ready for dinner.
So that night we went out to dinner with Yoko's family, including her brothers and their families, and we had a really awesome time. We went to a yakiniku restaurant.
So it's the last day in Osaka, and we're at a yakiniku place with Yoko's family.
So at yakiniku, what you do is you order lots of different like raw fish or meats and veggies, and you have like a little grill in the center of your table, so you actually cook the meat yourself and all the food, and it was actually really good. That was the best beef I've ever had in my life. It tasted so good, it was so tender, and I really want to go back. Okay, so on our last day in Osaka, Yoko's mom made us an excellent Japanese style breakfast. It was really good, and it was a really nice official last Japanese breakfast in Japan. We ended our stay in Osaka and we headed to our hotel in Narita before our flight the next day.
We were able to hold a bit of a conversation with our taxi driver from the airport to hotel.
We got a good 2 sentences in before we lost them.
We decided, because it was our last day, that we were going to splurge on a nice, more expensive dinner. So we went to, I forget the name of the restaurant, but it was in the hotel. We got a really nice Japanese dinner. When we first got there, a lot of the food was just completely different palates than what we were used to and stuff. And we tried a lot of new things. And like a lot of things that grew on me over the time we were there. And it was kind of nice that we finished off with all those things that were kind of alien to us. Was like our last meal there, and it was delicious.
So that concluded our Japan trip, and I can honestly say it was one of the best months of our lives. And I just want to say thank you to all of our friends for all that you did. Our trip would not be nearly as awesome and amazing as it was if it wasn't for you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it because we understand like taking a time off work and showing us around and traveling and stuff like that was we really appreciate that. And for also letting us stay, those of you who let us stay in your houses and homes, we really appreciated that, and that made our trip even better.
Thank you so much for making us feel like part of your families. And anytime you want to come visit, you know where to find us. Okay, so we just want to say, 本当にありがとうございました。Bye.
またね。
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. I had to run away high, so I wouldn't come home low. Just when things went right, it doesn't mean they were always wrong. Just take this song